right? Traditionally, there's been a lack of resources, right? Additional barriers, even policies that have systemically not allowed us to be in college. And so that's why TRIO exists, so that we can provide those resources and remove some of those barriers, so that we can prove the statistics wrong, right? Questions or comments on this? Services, we got a ton, we got a menu for you all. So let's talk a little bit about some of the things that we provide. And I want to ask you all, how many of you have used a clicker from TRIO? Use a clicker. Okay. Can one person tell me, for our new folks, what is a clicker? Like, why do we need that? I've never used that.
For participation points, mainly in like your bigger lecture classes, like instead of the professor like taking attendance like that, your responses to things on the board like that will count for your participation, for your attendance, and then at the end, if you bring it every day and you do it every day, you don't have to take it.
Perfect. So now that we have those for you all, and tied to that, we also have calculators. We have something called smart pens. Does anyone want to talk about smart pens? Who's used smart pens before in here? Who's checked one out? Who'd like to give us a spiel on what a smart pen is? Anyone? Yeah.
Okay.
And tell us your name so you know.
Sure. Hi everyone. I'm glad to be here. But a smart pen, I have to kind of look it up. So what it is that you can take your notes on a piece of paper and it transfers over to like a tablet or a computer. That's what I kind of understood it to be.
Yeah, absolutely. The pen has a camera on it, so while you're writing, it's actually recording it, and then you can upload as a PDF file, upload your notes onto your computer and save them. It's actually a searchable PDF. It kind of recognizes your handwriting and it can find words. And then it also has a recorder where you can record lectures after permission from your professors. And then it actually syncs the two up. So if I have my notes and I hover over a certain word, it'll rewind the lecture to what was happening at that very moment. So you can know, why did I write this word? Or why did I write this sentence? So we have those for you all. It also has a little piano. Printing. How many of you have printed in our office? What is the cost of printing in our office? Free. Yes. What ain't free? We're paying for it, but it's at no cost to you. Yeah, absolutely. You all do not have to pay for printing at all. Okay? So know that that's available for you. We also have books and study aids. How many of you have borrowed and checked out a book from TRIO or used one of our study guides at one point in time? There we go. Tutoring, we talked about tutoring already. Okay, we'll get more tutoring in a little bit. So that's the coaching. Then we have adaptive technology like Kurzweil 3000, and then we also have Dragon. These are adaptive technologies where either you can have text read to you. So if you have an upload PDF, it can be read to you if you prefer. If you're more of an audio learner and you prefer it to be read to you. And there's also a dictation one, that very naturally speaking, where you can actually speak and it'll type it for you. Okay, so we have some of adaptive technology like that.
Which one is that?
That one's Dragon. The one, the dictation one is Dragon. Yep. Right here. And then we have our computer lab. How many of you have visited the computer lab at least once? Pretty much everyone, right? Yep. We have our workshops. We're talking about smart pens. We also have cultural activities, which we'll talk about in a second, and advising, which is meetings with me and Ralph and Betty. For those of you who have met with Betty as well. Coffee and tea. What is that?
Free coffee.
Yeah. Come into our office. We offer complimentary coffee and tea, and sometimes snacks as well, at all times of the year. So just come on into our office, save that money, don't spend it on Starbucks, and have a cup of coffee or tea on us. All right. Speaking of, tomorrow, pretty much all day, 8 to 5 when we're open, we're having an open house. So it's just an opportunity for you all to just come on into the office, use the computers, kind of meet some staff. We may have some snacks and goodies, so come on in tomorrow, all day. All right? Yes, question? We close at, so that's a great question. Actually, yeah, we're going to talk about that in a second. We'll just address it now. So Monday through Friday, right? As always, we're 8 to 5. But starting this semester, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we are having extended hours till 7. 7 a.m. Shameless plug, the Student Leadership Board identified last year that some students work 8 to 5 and need a little bit of extra time to be able to come in the evening because they might not be able to make the 8 to 5, or some students also just wanted to study a little bit longer and use a computer lab. So they did a survey, we listened, we were able to use that to leverage and have extended hours for you all right? So please give us feedback. We want to hear your feedback on things, and this is how things get implemented. If I ask for it, Ralph or our kind of higher ups are going to laugh at us like, no. But if you all ask for it, then there's a little more, the heat is on a little more to be able to have to accommodate it if possible. Okay? Your voices are pretty powerful. Thanks,
Bobby,
huh?
the printing, I'm getting you guys a color printer. Computer lab.
Each one of us?
Yeah.
You get
For the computer lab, you're probably going to have a color printer.
I will say though, sustainability, don't burn any color unless you have to. You want to be as sustainable as possible. Okay? But that's a big plus because a lot of you all have also asked us, like your PowerPoint slides, right? Especially sciences, they may have a lot of graphics and charts and stuff of the human body and things like that, and it was hard for you all to see it in black and white. So we want to make that more accessible for you all, so you can have your notes a little bit better. All right? That was on him too. So all right. So requirements 432. Who can remember that? 432. Okay? So 4, that's the number of professional development seminars, workshops, that you have to complete in a year. How many workshops a year? 4. How many per semester then? 2. Okay, you can do all 4 in the fall and get it done out of the way if you want. I'm pretty sure our workshop, we have a really nice lined up. Since our workshop, we'll give you the schedule in a second. So you can attend as many as you want, but a minimum of 4. And then tied to that, there's specific ones, okay? So where are my first and second year students? First and second year students, our freshmen and sophomores, okay? You all have to complete 1 academic, 1 professional, 1 financial, and then 1 experiential. That sounds like the most fuzzy one. That's kind of like anything and everything. It could be a community service project, a cultural activity, kind of anything that's kind of more hands-on, okay? One of your choice. Where are my juniors and seniors, 3rd and 4th year students? All right, so you scratch the academic one, unless you really want to go to that. We're not going to say no to that. But at that point, our juniors and seniors probably have mastered the academics in college a little bit more, okay? And so instead, we're asking you to do 2 professional because you're getting ready to get out of here. And so we really want you to get as much as possible, you know, and professional also includes like preparing for grad school and stuff like that. All right, so you do 2 professional, 1 financial, and an experiential. Questions on workshops, on requirements for workshops. How many per year? 4. The next thing is coaching, okay? So all first year students and then transfer students, and then some of you who may end up or are on academic probation, okay, you know who you are. Academic probation with TRIO, we probably contacted you already, we had a conversation or 2, okay? Then you will also be doing coaching, okay? Now some of you may be asking, what's the difference between coaching and tutoring? Some of you may be asking that. Thank you for asking. You should ask. So tutoring is mainly like academic, right? So it's like I study, like I have a test that's coming up, or I need help learning this concept, right? It's very class-based. Coaching is pretty much everything else. I want to learn how to use Blackboard better, or I want to learn how to get involved on campus. I want to learn how to manage my time better. All that's coaching. Yeah, we can close the doors. It's a little noisy out there. So that's coaching, okay? And your coaching sessions are kind of what you want to make of it. Come prepared to your coaching session to talk about something. Be like, hey, I want to focus on this goal. Or hey, I have this question that I really want answered, okay? So that you have a rich coaching session, okay? And those are 30 minutes. Tutoring typically is a 60-minute session, and your coaching sessions are 30 minutes, okay? So how many coaching sessions per semester? Okay, that's per semester. So it's a total of 6 per year. Okay? Or actually, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. It's 3 per year. We're going to do 3 per year. Okay? So just maybe once towards the beginning of fall, middle fall, one maybe at the beginning of spring or end of fall, and then one towards kind of towards the end of spring.
Will you send out like an email to remind us?
Yes. Yep, absolutely. We're going to send you all this stuff. This is just kind of give you the information now. We're going to follow up with email. We'll put it up on our Facebook page, all that stuff. For sure. Okay? So 4, 3, and then the last one is 2. So that is how many sessions you have to have with us per semester. Our advising appointments with either me or Ralph. So how many of you are in a science, a health science, some sort of science-based program, major? Okay. So that is Ralph. So he is your advisor. Okay. In terms of formalities, I want to see all of you. I love you all. Okay. But in terms of formalities, who's technically your advisor will be Ralph, and then everybody else is with me. We get to party together in my office. Okay. And that's 2 per semester. There's 4 per year. Okay. 4 per year, 2 per semester.
Okay, so what if one semester I'm a science major, but then I switch this semester, do I still stay?
Yeah, typically, once you establish a relationship, it's up to you. If you're like, Ralph, I really accept you.
Who is it?
Yeah. In all honesty, it doesn't matter, right? If you do your 2 touch bases, as long as we have record that someone's chatted with you, right? Either of us twice in the semester, then you're good. Right? It just naturally, right, once you start meeting, Ralph will know what's going on in your life, and so he'll want to follow up with you, where he says, if I meet with you now, I'm going to, well, tell me about what's happened the last year and a half. Okay? So it's more for formalities, but we're all family. If you haven't noticed that, we have a very family environment. We just want to check in and see how you're doing. Okay. Questions on these requirements?
Okay.
Yes.
For seniors, does the academic coaching apply to them?
No, that's only first-year students, or our transfers that just transferred their first semester, or students who are in academic probation. Cool. Next. Okay, so tutoring and coaching. So there's 3 kind of ways that this happens. Okay, so by appointment is really what we want you all to do, and we're about to launch. So get excited. We're about to launch a new way of setting up appointments. Okay, so stay tuned. We'll probably by the end of the week, if not early like Monday or something, we'll send you the emails. But instead of you having to call us and be like, hey, I want an appointment, check if there's an appointment, wait to see if someone... No, you're going to have a website, and all of our tutors' appointments will be on there, and you're just going to click, and then you're going to be able to set an appointment. Like, all the appointment times for every coach and tutor will be up there, and you get to control and just like select your time. All right, so that's a change that's coming this year.
And on your system, I just have a quick question on that. Can your appointments go longer? Are you allowed to only select one, or are you allowed to do multiples?
You're allowed to do multiples. Just know that typically your appointments are 30 minutes. So if you need to meet with someone longer, that's your question. If you need to meet with someone longer or more frequently, let's have a conversation first to make sure that it's something that we can sustain. Just because if everyone wanted to meet 20 times a semester, we would love to have you, but then we would have to hire 10 more staff. So for timing purposes, that's why we have the 2 per semester. Yeah, but typically it's 30. If you need a little bit longer, then give us a call. And then we'll do like a custom kind of. All right, great question. The second, with tutoring and coaching, oh, you were referring to coaching and tutoring?
Tutoring.
Oh, okay, I see what you were asking. With tutoring, we will have, maybe we'll figure out if there's a recurring option. No, for tutoring, it's not 2 per semester, I'm sorry. So that was applying to advising appointments. For tutoring, we want you to meet with a tutor once a week, every week. Okay, every week. So for that, we'll figure out if there's an option for recurring. We haven't figured quite out the system yet, a little bit, but if there isn't, then we'll tell you that you just have to kind of select every week, and then you just plug it in, and then you're done for the semester. Okay? But we'll probably figure out a way maybe of doing recurring. Okay? Other questions for appointments? The second form is office hours. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I need help right now, I'm kind of in a meltdown mode. Hopefully you're not in that way, but sometimes it happens. I need to speak with a tutor right now, okay? Our tutors have office hours. We may not have tutors in the office all the time, but we typically have at least one tutor doing office hours for most of the time. So maybe you can check and be like, okay, or call us and be like, hey, today we have the office hours between 2 and 5, right? And Rachel will be there. And then you can just come on in and use it on the spot without an appointment. Okay, so they have their office hours. Kind of like professors. And now, no, professors first come, first serve. So if someone already is waiting in front of you, you kind of have to wait around until that person's done with their tutoring session. And that one may not be an hour, because it's more of office hours based. Maybe you're like, I only need 30 minutes, a quick touch base, or 15 minutes. And then we'll play by ear like that, okay? And then third time is flex time. Some of you may not be able to kind of do an 8 to 5. Now we have till 7 on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. But if the tutor, if it works out for the tutor and it works out for you, you can do kind of outside of the 8 to 5 window, maybe meet at Starbucks or something and host a tutoring session there. But it has to work with the tutor. Okay, so you have to arrange that one-on-one. Questions on tutoring and coaching? Okay. Appointments website. That we just talked about that, so check. Schedule for fall 2015, let's go ahead and pass that out. We may not have made enough copies for sure. We only made 50. So share, and we'll have more copies first thing tomorrow morning. So I want you to take a look at the schedule for fall. We have a pretty good lineup of different workshops and stuff like that. I'm going to steal one.
I can make more copies. I'll make some more copies. I'll be back.
Oh, you're amazing, Ralph. Thank you. You're just trying to impress everybody with your charm and your... Oh yeah, you can take pictures of sustainability. Take a picture and now you have an electronic copy. Good job. Good job. So as you can tell today, we've already done one. Check. Orientation. We also have tomorrow the open house that I told you about. So feel free to come on by. Maybe there'll be bagels, maybe not. Maybe there'll be donuts. I don't know. We'll figure out what's maybe fresh fruit. I don't know.
Surprise.
But we're gonna have something for you tomorrow.
Mystery food. Yeah.
Academic boot camp. This is gonna be a really cool program, a really cool workshop. It's gonna be kind of round robin, like stations, and you'll be able to learn how to increase your reading comprehension, how to take better notes, how to cite. How many of you have read a paper? You're like, oh, citations. Ugh, how am I doing? So we'll have help on how to cite. So stay tuned for all those. We have a few financial literacy here. Other things I want to point out. How many of you enjoy musicals? Musicals. Well, this year we're going to go see Wicked. Wicked. Okay? So in about a week or two, you're going to get an email to sign up. You want to make sure you sign up because there's more of you than there are tickets. Okay, so you want to make sure you sign up, and then we'll figure out a way of drawing out of a hat or something, and hopefully you'll get a ticket to go. A few financial ones, and then the other thing I want to point out. So if you look at October, it says Career Week. In October, it says Career Week. So that's not one event. What Career Services is doing this year. How many of you have ever been to Career Services? Or ever been to Career Services resources?
I went there.
Yeah! Okay. So what we've decided to do, instead of doing one workshop for you all specifically for TRIO, is we want to partner with Career Services. They're having an entire week of tons of workshops. And so any and all of those workshops for that week are considered TRIO workshops, and feel free to go. And they'll have, hopefully we'll get to have a TRIO sign-in sheet, and then you all can just sign in. Okay, so that you don't have to do it as an off-campus or non-TRIO workshop, okay? We love our Career Services partnership. Question?
Is it at the post office now?
Career Services is down the hall from us.
For suite 251.
251. 251. That's the number. 251. So it is down the hall from TRIO. Literally like 15
We're
steps.
off the elevator.
Yeah, if you
Right
take
off
the
the elevator.
elevator, you gotta pass Career Services
Yeah,
to get to
It's right in front of you. Liz gets lonely, so go say hi to Liz over there. Stop by. Other things I want to point out to you all, we have heard you, a lot of people have been asking about a scholarships workshop. So we're going to have one in November to get you ready for a lot of the scholarship deadlines in January, February, and March. Okay? So come learn about scholarship and how to apply and how to become a competitive applicant for that. And then learn about some scholarships. Other things to think in September, the Hispanic Women's Conference. That's an annual thing that's been going on for years and years. How many of you have ever been to the Hispanic Women's Conference? Okay. You don't have to be a woman, and you don't have to be Hispanic to go. Okay? Anyone and everyone is welcome. Just the mission of that conference has historically been to empower Latinas. Okay? But everyone and everyone is welcome. Okay? We sponsor certain tickets, certain entrances. I think it's like $100 or $80 or $40 to register, and we will bear the load of that cost for you all. Okay? So we will pay for it. Other things I want to point out. How many of you are graduating this December? How many of you? We are going to have a celebration for you all. A little bit bigger than traditionally. Traditionally, in December, we haven't really done anything, but this year we want to celebrate you all, so we were going to have an end of semester kind of holiday, end of semester / graduation celebration. Okay? We had it last year too, we want to make it bigger and better for our December grads. Okay? Any questions on our list? Questions, comments, concerns? Yes?
Since they're both limited for the Hispanic Women's Conference and Women, we get the chance to apply for both, right?
Yeah, you'll apply for both. Yeah, absolutely. You'll apply for both. Feel free to do that. Yeah. And know that Hispanic Women's Conference is 8 to 5 on both days, on both Thursday and Friday. Some of you may have class. So I recommend, if you really want to go, maybe talk to your professors ahead of time to take it off. Otherwise, what some people do is maybe they'll go to class and then go right back to the conference. And then maybe go to class and then go back to the conference. Okay? Other questions about the schedule? Comments, concerns? Okay, this is the only time I'm going to ask you to pull out your phones. And don't be getting on Facebook.
Actually, get on Facebook and like us.
Or actually, yeah. Oh yeah, actually, yeah. So yeah, go on Facebook. But only to do this.
Go on Facebook, go on Twitter.
Please enter this number and save it as Trio Downtown. This is our number. We want to make sure that if you need anything, if you need to talk to someone, if you're stuck in a rut, if you just want to say hi to Louis because you want to hear his amazing customer service skills over the phone, just give us a call. Okay? Give us a call. We need like a jingle. Like Learner Broker is the way you do it. 97719. We can open a Trio jingle. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/TrioDTC. Even if you don't have a Facebook account, it's a public page. It's a public page, so it's almost like it's like a website. Okay. If I emailed you about every opportunity that we learned about, you would literally hate us and never come back. Because I'd be emailing you 3 times a day. So instead, we put together like weekly emails. We'll send out kind of important stuff, and then most of the stuff we put it on our Facebook page. Okay, Nina and a few other folks really do the most on that Facebook page. They're always posting a lot of good stuff. How many of you have checked out our Facebook page before? Kind of used it in some ways? Yes, I really encourage you to use it. It's an active page. It's not one of those pages that we post stuff every 3 weeks. No.
No, I'm on there.
Who doesn't have a copy of the schedule of the fall activities? There we go. Thank you, Ralph.
Also, we have an Instagram. I just want to throw that out there. He didn't put it up there. I'm trying to think about what it is exactly right now.
Yeah, I did put it up there. I don't know what it was.
It's on that master passwords list. But, yeah, so if you want to look for us on Instagram, if not, I'll put a link up to all of our social media on Facebook first thing next Monday.
Perfect.
When I'm in the office.
We'll post some of the pictures that we...
Yep. So like us on Facebook and you'll get everything. It's great.
Cool.
I put in a lot of work. Thank you.
All right. Let's talk about money. Ralph, do you want to talk about money or do you want me to talk about money?
Sure, let's talk about money.
All right.
How about you both talk about money?
Let's talk about
Let's
money.
talk about money.
Did everybody get one?
Ooh, pretty ones. Yes.
What are we talking about money?
Okay, next slide. I can say this one. So there are a number of ways for you all to do some financial literacy. Okay? There's a lot of different resources out there for you all to be able to improve your abilities to manage your money, to make sure that your financial aid is secure, to make sure that you're ready post-graduation, and to make sure that you're eating and you have a shelter. Okay? Trio, I like to think we're your main resource. Conceited like that. But we really do have a lot of good financial literacy. We have an amazing partnership with MidFirst Bank. How many of you have been to one of our financial literacy trainings? With Emily Schwartz. She is so funny. Like she's really on point, so we're really lucky to have that partnership. She's a great presenter. I told her she needs to go to comedy. We also have Cash Course, which is a website, cashcourse.org. They have a number of little webinars which you can complete your financial literacy with them as well online. A lot of different webinars and tools and all that stuff. MidFirst Money Moments. So MidFirst, if you Google MidFirst Money Moments, MidFirst Bank has this whole webpage dedicated to helping you become financially independent and understand money very well. Okay. The Financial Aid Office, which this gentleman right here can talk more about in a second, and then the FAFSA.ed.gov page. Also, especially when you're getting ready to repay loans or you need information on loans and stuff, they're a really, really good resource. And all that leads to both support and self-advocacy, meaning like you all really, sometimes we fall through the cracks, right? And we need to really speak up and like claim help. Like, hey Ralph, I really need support. You know, hey Betty, like, where's that scholarship? I need your help with the scholarship. You know, I can't register for classes. Like, we really need to voice up, okay? And then all that good success. So, Financial Aid Office. I don't know if you want to add anything or...
I have a
Okay,
question.
yes.
So some of us are social workers and we have to do our internships this semester and for the schedule, it's on the days that we have to do the internship. How do we meet our criteria for attendance of the classes, webinars, seminars, whatever?
So you can attend a non-trio workshop. We have a non-trio form. Basically, if you have something that's involved with your college or a particular program that you want to just go to, as long as you get a signature from the presenter, fill out the form, explain what you learned, we'll accept it as a trio workshop. There's also okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, especially if you're doing an internship, the very workshops that maybe you might be doing with your internship, you're gonna get professional development, so count those.
Okay, thank you.
Another thing too is a lot of, yeah, we know that your schedule changes and our schedule is set on the workshops. We have other stuff, we have webinars that you can watch. As long as you send us an email back saying I learned this information from the webinar, we'll count that as a workshop as well.
Career Services has amazing webinars as well. So for your professional workshop, if you cannot make it, we would obviously love for you to come in person. There's a different experience being able to bounce off ideas and talk to peers and be present. But if you want to do a webinar for a workshop, Career Services has really good ones, and so does Cash Course.
Right, exactly. So you can use the Cash Course website as well. So let me talk a little bit about financial aid. I used to work in financial aid. I used to work in financial aid for 20 years. So before I even got here, I already knew financial aid. So the executive director that's now in charge of financial aid, I trained her. The program coordinator that is eventually going to be hired here at the downtown campus, I originally hired her in financial aid. So I got an insight of financial aid. By the way, I just heard earlier, so you guys are going to know, if you guys took out a loan for this semester, chances are there might have been a hold up there that said you need to do your entrance counseling session. And if you took out a loan prior to that, you already did an entrance counseling session. So they sent me an email accidentally saying, oh, we messed up. So they're trying to correct that part. So I get all these little notices for financial aid even though I'm not there. So I'll relay that information to you guys if there's something that's holding up your financial aid in general or something that's going on within the system. So I can help you with that. I can help you with filling out an appeal form or a review form for a parent review form, for a student review form. If you come to me and say, you know what, I just need some money, I need some assistance from financial aid, maybe a grant of some type, I will talk to financial aid to try to get you a grant.
No guarantees.
No guarantees, but I've been helping them with stuff, and it's